Ellen would. I know Ellen is here. Do you have a supplementary?
Thank you. Bristol Council is right to be concerned about the affordability of a clean air zone for its citizens. However, the Mayor's primary concern must be the devastating cost of air pollution to human health. We would like to know how the inaction on cleaning up our air is justified and what equality-focused measures the Mayor is considering alongside the clean air zone to mitigate its costs for those who can least afford them, are contributing least to the problem and who are suffering the most.
So it's obviously a very timely issue, so just indulge me. I've got 4 points to respond to your paper. First of all, there's been some misinformation around it. I don't know where this idea is coming from that nothing is being done. We've got a whole docket, and this is one of the points we made to the Minister. And I think we need to be careful in listening to national government's relationships when they say stuff about local government. We have, at the moment, as Dave referenced earlier on, actually, a bus deal coming through that includes a quality partnership. We've got the largest order of biogas buses coming through. That bus deal will put us on track to having all of the buses in Bristol, 100% of the buses on biogas. We are investing through our development plans in the cycling and walking infrastructure. In the city plan, there is a particular track around the environment that will have purchase across learning, education and skills, homes and communities, transport. The fact that we have a specific board coming up around the environment that set out goals for Bristol for every year up to 2050 is some achievement, as has been recognised in other around the rest of the country and so forth. And I would also say that on Thursday, when I go to our workshop on the industrial strategy, the local industrial strategy, as I shared with councillors earlier on, the point I'm going to be making is that that industrial strategy must hold economic inclusion, tackling poverty and inequality, but also sustainability. And when we build it into the plan, that goes somewhere of anchoring it in. The second thing I'll just raise is about the clean air plan. Now, there has been a delay in our initial submission to DEFRA, but we've talked to the Minister and Jackie about this. We don't have a government that's actually wedded to deadlines in any meaningful way right now. And our point has been that this deadline has no bearing on the city's ability to reach compliance. So actually what we had was a red flag around the impact on the poorest people in Bristol and the plans that are being brought forward. It's incumbent upon us to have a look at the impact that would have had. Secondly, I'd say in terms of what we are doing around trying to take mitigating actions on the poorest people, we are part of UK 100. We've asked the government, and I sat around the table with Michael Gove, along with Andy Burnham, Sadiq Khan, Andy Street from the Midlands, and we said to Michael Gove, this was before this all was in the papers, this is a year or so, we want to deliver air quality. But you can't keep rolling down responsibility onto cities without resourcing it. We need another £1.5 billion in the Clean Air Fund, and we need your national support for a diesel scrappage scheme. That way we can support private citizens to move from diesel to electric vehicles, but also we can work with our taxi fleet. The final two things. I've got to take issue with the way this has been framed as well. Air quality is a primary concern, along with a number of other primary concerns. I've been at pains to say we don't have a hierarchy of what we're doing here. It's air quality, or it's poverty, or it's poverty, or it's air quality. We're trying to do them all at the same time. As a health professional, you'll know from the Marmot Review and from the If I Could Only Do One Thing report about public health, that socioeconomic factors are by far and away the biggest determinant of population health. And actually, I had Duncan Selby here just a week ago Monday, and he wrote to me yesterday, and what he said was, in terms of delivering on population health, and you know who Duncan Selby is, right? Yeah. So what he said was, for children, having the best start in life and being ready to start school are important. And for young people, it's entering adulthood with the resilience to thrive. For adults, it's having a secure job, home, and at all stages, the importance of friendship and belonging in life. Essentially, economic growth, creating new jobs that local people can get with health and well-being are two sides of the same coin. We are not trading off economic growth against the environment. What we're saying is sometimes they clash, but we have to deliver on all of those at the same point. And what I would also say is there's a real political danger for the environment in further marginalising people from the economy. The kind of politics you make possible when people lose hope that they will ever get out of the spiral of poverty is an anti-environmental politics. And final point, Lord Mayor, the NHS generates 5% of all road journeys in this country, okay? So this is on NHS's own numbers, all right? They contribute 735 deaths from air pollution. They cost us 8,844 life years, contribute to 85 deaths and 772 major injuries, and they create £650 million for demand on NHS services. So I would say as an NHS professional, what would also be good is don't wait for the council. The NHS is a massive institution. It's a sovereign body. Look at your own transport plans. I'll be interested to know what's been going on inside the NHS, what you're doing around transport plans to take the burden you bring onto our roads. And I would also be interested to know what you're doing to ensure that the NHS is transferring all of its diesel vehicles over into electric or biogas.
We don't really
Right,
have the resources to do that, somebody has said.
But you're here.
Unfortunately, there isn't another supplementary. It's only one, unfortunately. But thank you for your question and thank you for the full answer. But if we could try and keep it as close to 3 minutes as possible so that we can get through.
I'll be happy to talk to you after, because I think there is this thing about people just coming down to council and thinking the council just delivers everything. The NHS is a huge organisation, and I think one of the best places to start is with your own organisation as well as with the council.
It's one of our clinical responsibilities on our NICE guidance to reduce our own impact on air pollution.
Great. So we're going to move on to the next question now, and it's two questions. So it's Oliver Fortune, and he has two questions on inclusivity and also the new community hub. Do you have, you're entitled to a supplementary on each of those.
Right. Okay. So was it the one about inequality? I can't see the question. I can see one about air quality. Here we are, yes. We'll go back to the one about inclusivity.
Is Judith Brown here? I was told she wasn't attending, and she isn't attending, so that's why we've moved on to Oliver Fortune.
So there's a question, yeah.
Usually the mayor is allowed to answer.
Okay, so sorry, Oliver, let's have an answer, and then you can have a supplementary.
Shall I ask the question again?
Sorry for the confusion. I think if the Mayor would like to give an answer to your initial questions, and then you're entitled to a supplementary on both.
Okay.
Apologies.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've made clear our commitment to inclusion and diversity in the council and the authority. It goes through the city plan, it goes through our approach to council culture, it goes to our re-establishment of the staff-led groups. I think our record speaks for that. In terms of what the church in the city does, the church by definition is a broad church. If you have a sense of the specific position of that church, or or you've got some engagement with them that you're dissatisfied with, I suggest you take it up with them. But our principles stand as to where they stand.
That's not the question. The question is, how can you say that you're inclusive when you've got relationships with city partners that you know full well have this policy in place? That's my point. If I was the mayor of Bristol City Council, I would be saying to these bodies that you need to include everyone in the city, not just heterosexual people. And if they weren't willing to do that, I wouldn't have them as a city partner. That's the question. And also, with regards to your comments about the NHS doesn't have the resources to make all the vehicles we use on biogas. We don't have the resources at the moment, as you know.
I think you're assuming I know more than I do. I don't know that. And actually,
we're living under Tory austerity. You know full well what pressures the NHS are under. But back to this question that you haven't answered.
Stop grumbling, everyone. Right, Mayor, can we just check? Did you give a response to the second part of the question, which was the new community hub in Knoll?
was I asked that
Should we
bit?
focus on that? That was
Sorry,
another question, wasn't it?
Get an answer to this question, so let's move on to the next
I
one.
don't know what the question was. Oh, right. So I'll go on to your next one, your next point. I mean, there are no plans to relocate the library service from Broadwalk to a new building at Daventry Road. There are no plans to do that.
Again, that wasn't the question. The question was whether there would be an additional library at Daventry Road. It's not about relocating existing libraries, it's about whether there's going to be a facility there.
Well, then Are we, what, in that development, are we going to build a library?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not aware of any plans to do that, no.
Right. Thank you for your question.